you're live.
Well, it's time for America's birthday. And we're like, almost half of that here at Mohawk Auto Group for our birthday of 107 years. But happy birthday, America, July 4th, 2026.
250.
250. We did it. Well, it's not July 4th yet, but we're going to talk a little bit more about Made in America, what's going on right now inside of the car business. Welcome, everybody, to Mohawk Table Talk, where we bring you the tips and tricks to make you an educated car buyer, because we know an educated car buyer is the best buyer.
That's right. We appreciate you tuning in on whatever platform you're watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in. If you're watching the live, our producer will feed them over to us, and we'll do our best to answer them if we are so equipped. If you're watching the replay, we appreciate the watch. Please like and subscribe. We bring you some cool stuff today. We're going to talk about Made in America and what that means in the car business, what that means to Mohawk Auto Group. And if this is your first time watching Mohawk Table Talk, we appreciate the view. And so we're coming to you live from the Mohawk Honda Studios. Nate is wearing his festive hat, red, white,
That's right. I got it right here.
We are very festive. We're ready to go. It's July 3rd, 2026. So tomorrow, July 4th. Now, the Mohawk and a lot of other businesses are closed. We're going to be celebrating. There's a lot of things to talk about. So we're not going to, with no further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world right now. There's so much stuff going on.
We were just talking about that.
There's an infinite amount of things like on social media, like everything's going on right now.
Yep. Well, we have the World Cup here in America. That's kind of cool. I didn't put that together, but for our 250th birthday here in America, we have the World Cup, which is kind of nice.
And who doesn't like soccer or football, as
Football.
they say most everywhere else?
And America's winning some games, which is also kind of nice.
Yeah, in case you haven't been watching or don't really care about soccer, U.S. won their group, and then they won their next game, so they're playing the next game on Monday, right?
Yep.
In a few days, and they're playing Belgium. So best of luck to the U.S. national team. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully everybody tunes in. You should tune in. I think it's 8 p.m.
Yes.
Is going to win.
Eastern.
Well, there's a lot of people buzzing up America and how awesome America is. We just kind of watched a few videos of Europeans coming to America and realizing some of the cool things out here, like oversized portions and drinks and things that could feed their whole family with
big
one
gulp drinks or something.
big gulp drinks and food that they haven't tried where they live, and everybody's loving it at the moment. And all of that made in America, which is what we're talking about today on the podcast.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of American pride. I don't know. Some of those things are entertaining. Some of them are funny, but we certainly have a lot of visitors. We welcome them, of course. And now we do have the U.S. Hosting the World Cup. The closest we have, we're in upstate New York, in Albany. Most of you who know us know where we're located. But New York, New Jersey Metro. It's actually New Jersey, I think.
Yeah.
Which is where the closest game World
MetLife,
Cup.
right?
MetLife, yeah. But you can't say MetLife on the World Cup, just in New York, New Jersey. But it's the same state, the same place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's
Brands
pretty
are
close.
covered.
Yeah, that's pretty close. It's close enough for New Yorkers to make the trip. It's been a wild ride, but that's a big deal going on. What was it last week? There was local to us here at Mohawk Honda, the Scotia Glenville, Schenectady had a fireworks display,
Yep.
that kind of thing. So
Which we actually sponsored.
that's right. We were a sponsor. It was nice to see the community get together. There was a lot of cool stuff going on there, and so hopefully we're going to talk about some vehicles, right? Because this is a car.
This is the car.
podcast,
We
right?
got to talk.
We got to talk a
about
little bit
cars.
about that. But
I guess.
if you haven't been paying attention for the first 6 months when we've been talking about this, last year rather, there was some chat about tariffs, right? To get a little serious on you here, there were talk about tariffs from the government for vehicles that were imported to the U.S. and then sold in the U.S. and how that affected affordability. Now, one thing that we really pushed on here, especially at the Mohawk Honda building, was what does that mean for people that want to buy new Hondas or new Chevrolets? And we're going to tell you, because there's some pretty cool stats that I bet you weren't aware of unless you watched one of our prior episodes.
That's right. Well, before we do that, Mohawk Auto Group is actually 107 years. So we've been a large portion. I'd say we've even been part of almost the birth of automobile industry.
That's right. So
the original vehicle I think is like 1885 or something like that. We got into business in 1919, so it's super close to the actual implication of the start, people buying vehicles. Now, we've been making some videos, and I do want to shout out. We are actually going to be on CBS's 250th 30-minute segment celebration for America's 250th. And we get a two minute segment inside of their 30-minute video segment with their host. So be on the lookout for that for tomorrow on CBS. Thank you to CBS for having us on that. And with that being said, like, we had, I think what they used to call it, it was the Chevy wagon, I think is what they call it, or the coupe. That's what you had. Mm-hmm. No AC. No, no windows. No, not even roll-up windows. We actually had one in at Chevy for a while, but I was looking at you'll find this fun. I was looking at the original invoice statement. So when someone bought a vehicle from Mohawk Chevrolet, it wasn't all the DMV paperwork. It was just this invoice that the person signed. Guess how much it was?
How much?
Yes. What do you think?
$2,000.
$745 for the vehicle.
Wow, I was.
Boy, would we love to have that today.
That's right, $700 vehicles, right? Bring that back.
Yeah.
That's barely a hotel stay in a fancy hotel. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, and not to detract too much, but some of the local events, right? And now it's July 3rd, talking about the USA 250 and Mohawk Auto Group being 107 years of the 250. That's like almost half.
That's almost half.
But almost half. So that's a long time.
Wait.
We appreciate. Now we weren't around
13,
for most.
14. Was it 23 years off?
Yeah.
Something
Pretty
like
close. Pretty close.
I don't do math.
That's right. So we look forward to another 107 here at Mohawk, and I won't be here. Nate won't be here, and honor another 107. But
hopefully our podcast will still be
yeah,
there.
that's right. We'll probably still have Mohawk Table Talk. And if you're going to get out there and celebrate the 4th with the family or with friends, please be careful. Right? Fireworks and stuff are fun, but you certainly want to be careful. Want to make sure that nobody gets hurt, and also want to make sure that your vehicles are safe. Right? This is a car podcast, so we want to mention that. We were chatting before we went live here, and it's amazing. There's actually data and statistics about damage to cars from fireworks, like fallout, right? Is that what they call it? Fallout, like after the fireworks go up, like the stuff that comes down.
Yes.
Right? That's what they call it?
Yep, and we'll put this. We have a nice little graphic for you. We'll throw that in the comments on our Facebook page if you want to take a look and see what we're talking about. But we're calling this the invisible threat. You know, you don't really think about it, right? You see the fireworks in the sky,
and
but
you don't. Go away.
But you don't know. Yeah, they just go away. You don't know what happens to. You don't even know if there's anything in the air. But there are like little particles that fall down to the ground. Obviously, how are you going to get the spark? Obviously, they don't hurt anybody, but it could potentially hurt your car and go through the clear coat.
Yeah, that's anything that's coming out of the sky, whether you see it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Just like UV rays and the sunlight, right? Well, I guess you see that, but you don't see it actually impacting the surface of your vehicle. So believe it or not, and we're going to put this in the comments, like Nate said, there is potential damage to your vehicle. So what does that mean to you? You're like, okay, that seems like a lot. What does that mean to you? Maybe park your car away, right? Don't park right underneath, like where they're doing the fireworks, and hopefully not, because you should only trained professionals should be lighting these off, of course. But if for some reason you're around a local area or a backyard barbecue, which doesn't sound like a great idea,
that doesn't sound like America at all.
Just be very careful, obviously for yourself and your friends and the humans around, but also your vehicles.
Yes. So when firework residue contains heavy metals, and when activated by the moisture in the air, like morning dew, it actually becomes corrosive and etches some small little craters inside of your clear coat. So just be mindful of that. We want to make sure that we at least inform you of that so that you have a better ownership experience.
Yeah, and you might even be, depending on the color of your car, you might even be able to see it. So you don't want to all of a sudden start washing your car on July 5th and say, hey, what's this stuff all over my car? Oh yeah, Mike and Nate mentioned that on the podcast. I guess I should have listened and park my car somewhere else.
Well, good news is you can always get your car expelled. That will protect your vehicle. You can always come to our collision center that can help you redo a clear coat, ceramic coating, all of this fun stuff to help you actually reduce the effect of those outside contaminants, I guess you'd say.
That's exactly. That's exactly what it is. Those are contaminants, and we do have ways to rectify that. We do have paint restoration processes that we have available at both stores. So hopefully it doesn't happen, but whether it's due to fireworks, that's only one thing, or anything else in the environment, ask us. Go to our website at mohawkhonda.com or mohawkchevrolet.com, click on the chat button, and ask about those things if you're curious at all. You got that new car, it's expensive, want to make sure it's protected.
That's right. Well, you know, we are talking today about the birth of America and things being built in America, and I'm happy to say that we have the two brands that have the most vehicles built in America. Honda and General Motors are ranked in the top two for American-made vehicles. Honda holding the #1 spot for 5 of those, and General Motors holding spot for 2.
That's right. That's crazy to think, right? I think before these studies came out, which really was, you know, before tariffs were a thing, and that wasn't a word that everybody was talking about or knew about before last year. Before that, I don't think anybody would have thought that Honda was the brand that had the most American-built vehicles, with again a total of 5 out of the top 10. And just to put that in perspective, and General Motors is #2, meaning the second most. That is more. That 5 for Honda is more than Toyota. It's more than Ford. It's more than Tesla. It's really kind of interesting. And again, we're just using the graphic here. We'll be happy to put that in the notes too. But really kind of interesting that Honda, and I should name them off because instead of just saying that there's 5, let me tell you what they are, right? And Honda Ridgeline. Honda Ridgeline up there in terms of being American built. Honda Odyssey, Honda Accord, the Honda Passport, and there's also an Acura in there, which is the Acura MDX, which is a Honda brand vehicle. So it's 4 Hondas and 1 Acura. That's really phenomenal. So whether that's part of your conversations that you have when you're just talking about your own car or thinking about getting that next vehicle, we're on a patriotic type of podcast today. It's July 3rd. Tomorrow's Independence Day, 250. So we wanted to make sure that we just double tapped on this subject that we talked about last year when there were tariffs that came out. And that was relevant for everybody because, you know, American built vehicles certainly had some, you know, weren't in the limelight in terms of, you know, tariffs and things like that. So I don't know about you, Nate, but to me, that's amazing. And if this is your first time hearing it and you're watching, really a big deal. Whether you just want to be extra patriotic or you want to make sure that financially it makes sense for you, or you just want to support the U.S. economy, there are a lot of workers, a lot of parts, and a lot of things like that that go behind that. So again, that's Honda, which wasn't originally an American company, is really turning into an American company nowadays. So what a better time to talk about it.
Yeah, right? It's funny because, like you said, most people don't even know that that's what you wouldn't think that, quote unquote, a Japanese automaker, obviously that's where their headquarters came from, but they do have headquarters in Torrance, California. That's right, where the Honda R&D resides and all of that. And I think the Honda brand actually has really acclimated to the American market, because there's a fun fact for you is that Acura is an American brand. Such as we think about the Acura NSX, everywhere else in the world it's called a Honda NSX. But because of American influence, they decided to make an Acura brand for America.
Yeah, and it's super successful. Great prestige, a lot of positives that go around it, and of course we represent both Honda and Chevrolet here at Mohawk Auto Group. We just happen to be talking about Honda because I think that that usually surprises people more when you talk about you know, Chevrolet or Cadillac, all great brands, of course, and we represent the GM line also. But I think there's a lot of assumptions that, oh yeah, of course, you know, Chevy's a traditional you know, American type brand, which it definitely is. We're just adding Honda to that mix, which is really kind of unique. And I'd want to say, we don't want to pass this segment by without talking about the theme that we've talked about all year. We're halfway through the year now, and all we've been talking about is affordability, and we've also been talking about fuel economy, because fuel economy goes hand in hand with affordability, and Honda leads the manufacturers in both segments. So we mentioned previously that as it was recently rated, Honda the #1 manufacturer for the best fuel economy on the aggregate, which are all the models combined, best fuel economy in terms of the rating. So that helps with affordability. And then I'll really quickly just mention what my notes say here. With a brand new Honda Civic LX, the Civic being Honda's sedan, still very popular at $25,890. That's the MSRP. It is still one of the most affordable new vehicles out there, and the Accord isn't too far away from that. The Accord being the mid-size or larger size sedan at $29,590, as I'm reading here in my notes. Very, very affordable compared to what the average car prices out there are now for new cars. So great fuel economy, lower prices than the average for sure. And then lastly, 5 of the top 10 made in America, which are really, really kind of neat. So we wanted to call that out since we're on the topic of, hey, if you want to we want to be a patriot, or you just want to save money, or both, Honda maybe
the two vehicles. We have the Corvette is built in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then Silverados are produced in Flint, Michigan, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Springfield, Ohio.
Ooh, yeah. So I guess we'd expect Chevy to be part of that, but those are two. How do you get any better than a Corvette, right?
That's American muscle right there.
That's American muscle.
That's the classic American car right there.
And you need to pile some stuff in to do those weekend projects as a true American, but better than a Silverado.
That's right.
Right.
I'd make sure we got those in there for us.
Yeah. So that's a whole bunch of USA. I feel like we need to have a chant. We need to have a bundle.
Well, you know the song they sing is "Take Me Home, West Virginia." Yep, you can't sing too much; we'll get canceled. They'll flag our YouTube for copyright infringement. Can't sing too much of it.
That's right. And if you are going to attend, we briefly talked about making sure that your vehicle's safe from fireworks, fallout, and everything else. But obviously today's the 3rd, like I mentioned. All of our facilities. Tomorrow we're closed in observance of Independence Day, so that's going to be a lot of fun for everybody to just relax and celebrate with the family or friends. If you are going to join any of the local celebrations, we mentioned that Scotia Glenville, Schenectady had theirs already, but there is one in our neighboring town over here at Clifton Park tomorrow. There's also some in downtown Albany, and there may even be one locally at Maybe Farms.
I will say. If you've never been, and some people don't realize this, but Albany is actually the capital of New York State. So
a lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't know that.
Or we forget.
That's right.
And with that being said, if you've never been to the Albany fireworks, the fireworks show is absolutely incredible.
And that's Empire State Plaza.
Empire State Plaza.
Which literally is Empire State, like New York, right?
Yeah.
The State Plaza, most everybody's been there before. That's like some big deal that they have going on there. And it's very picturesque, and it's right with that's gonna be amazing.
You have to go, if you've never been, at least once. If you live in the New York area, in upstate New York, highly recommend. Go check that out, because the finale itself is worth coming in late to.
And you can see it. It's right on the river.
Yep.
So even if you're looking from afar, you'll probably be able to see some of it.
You'll still see it and feel it.
That's right. That's right. So we talked about a bunch.
Yes,
right?
we did.
We talked about what's going on locally. We want to make sure that you're protected and your vehicle's protected from any of the celebrations that are going on. Please be careful out there. Leave the firework displays and stuff to the trained professionals. Make sure you're safe. We don't want to have anybody get hurt. We definitely don't want to hurt your vehicle either. So make sure you take cover.
Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Happy birthday, America. Please like, subscribe wherever you're watching. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. We'll see you.